this is a Buddhist temple, but are you getting any vibes like they're forcing anything on our religion, like they're trying to convert us?
I don't really think that's
I
their
haven't seen
style, to be
any
honest.
Buddhist
Yeah, right?
monk or anything like that.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
their style.
All right, guys, so just got here to the temple. They give us these vests and these pants. Checked us in, and they also gave us some nice little bed sheets and pillow covers for sanitary reasons. Literally have 2 hours before we even have a temple tour. It's just overall a very chill vibe. I mean, Chris, you said you've done this a couple times, right?
6 times already.
Well, this is pretty normal. It's just this very chill vibe. Like they just tell you, oh, come here and just relax.
Yeah, it's pretty chill, so you can participate in the religious program or not. But usually it's very relaxed, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of different than a lot of the other tour programs I've done here in Korea because there's always like a schedule.
Oh
Like,
my god.
yeah, you're gonna eat now, and then 30 minutes
Banner
later you're
photo.
there. Yeah, and then this is the first time where they're like, do nothing for 2 hours. So I just finished flying my drone, but Chris back there is flying his. There's actually a lot more to this temple than just simply some houses for you to stay in. There's amazing little lakes and ponds for you to enjoy, coffee shops, little monastery areas, and a hiking trail. So we're pretty excited to find out all they have to offer up close.
우리나라도 저렇게 해야 옳아요. 예로부터 저렇게 했는데
Alright guys, so I just got done with the tour and there's also another hour until our next thing, so plenty of time in between. The tour itself, I have to say, is quite informative. It's less of a religious kind of thing, but it's more academic in that they teach you more of the history and the architecture of everything. I mean, obviously everything is beautiful here, but it's really nice to have a little bit of context. And before you do all that, in the beginning, they teach you some basic manners as far as how you bow to a monk that you pass by. Instead of the typical bowing of the head, you do a little together of the hands. But even if you're not going to do a temple stay, I recommend that you do maybe one of these tours because it's a great way to get context into Korean Buddhism, because I've realized through this that Korean Buddhism is sort of unique in a sense that it incorporates elements of Korean gods and goddesses, etc. They say there's like almost 108 of them. So the pictures that you see back there, you see Buddha with other Korean gods, etc. So that was really interesting to know.
우리나라를 포함한 중국, 일본, 베트남, 네팔, 티베트 대승불교 국가예요.
So I also want to quickly mention that there aren't any English tours available at this temple, but out of the 130 temples that offer temple stays, 26 of them have options for English. So I just highly recommend that you just double check, if you're not a native Korean speaker, that the temple that you are going to stay offers English temple stays, because they have that as well, and you could have all the benefits of understanding the history and the culture of Buddhism out here. Just had the first meal. Everything is super healthy, vegetable-y, and I might get hungry, so they even let you pack some for later. But part of the whole Buddhist experience here is being self-sustainable, so you also have to do your dishes. So if you're adverse to doing dishes, you might be adverse to temple stay. But for those cool people that like to be self-sustainable, temple stay it is. Okay, so after our meal, we got to do the samulnori, and it's the 4 sounds, and they represent the sky, the earth, etc. And you're basically hitting those to make people or beings that are in those areas happy. It's really nice to hear the explanation and very satisfying to ring that big bell. That's loud! Alright guys, so wrapped up the day with making these lotus lanterns, and they signify some kind of purity because they grow up in mud, but they're still pure. So it's very symbolic in Buddhism. We also got to make little bracelets, so overall got to be very crafty. And as if that wasn't enough, they even gave us souvenirs. So overall, it's a really great way to wrap up the day. No, I like it big.
Wait, I don't have you on.
They're really busy taking pictures with these lanterns. They think it's really cute. Alright guys, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and this is when the religious part of the temple stay takes place. And it's quite informative. They even give you a pamphlet with Romanized English to follow along with the Buddhist monks. And as you can see, they also teach you how to properly bow to Buddha. But if for religious reasons you want to abstain, they also let you do that too. You can just stand in the back and observe the religious proceedings. Okay guys, time for morning breakfast. And something I want to say about the meals here, they're generally very vegetarian-y because of the Buddhist diet, but they let you have as much as you want, however, so you can eat until you're full. And even if you have gluten allergies like Majid here, you're gonna be able to get through it.
All the food is quite delicious, and especially like if you are hungry, like yesterday I finished everything and I feel like it's a one full meal and I'm gonna finish it all. So it's a delicious meal, so now let me eat.
Actually, I've been just informed that even if you're not doing the temple stay, you can partake in the meals just as a visitor to any temple. So that's really generous of them, and that sort of goes with the Buddhist philosophy of sharing. By the way, Henny here goes to all the temples to tour for their food. She knows all the best ones. Alright guys, so we just finished having tea, which is called Chatham, with the monk. And basically it's a time where he taught us about the history of tea drinking in Korea and also the importance and the significance of that. And we could like pretty much ask him whatever questions we wanted. And he taught us that this greeting here, that you do this is just the standard greeting in India. That's where it originated from. It's just to show that you don't have any weapons. And then we just also asked him some more complex questions about Buddhism, like the difference between Buddhism in Southeast Asia compared to East Asia, etc. And it was really informative. Anyways, we're gonna go on a hike right now through the forest and we're gonna be asking more questions. So see you in a little bit. Mari's just acting like she's drinking.
This is not my tea.
Such an Instagram. By the way, guys, they actually have a Lotus Festival every year in the summer here at this temple, as you can see right behind us in this pond. And the monk tells us that they actually gather the leaves from the lotus and they hand make the tea that's actually served in the Chatham. Lotus leaves, by the way, have a very relaxing effect, but they also use green tea as well in the south, particularly around the Chirisan area. And that has a more of a wake-up type of effect so that the monks can concentrate and not fall asleep during the meditation. Alright guys, so just got to complete a lovely walk with the monk where you can ask him further questions about anything, and also he will teach you how to meditate, and you get to really drink, as they say here in Korea, this fresh air. And this particular forest is special. It is called Quangnung Forest. And basically it's named after the tomb where King Sejo was buried, who is the son of the most famous king in Korea, Sejong. And he particularly liked this forest because this was his favorite hunting spot. And after he passed away and his tomb was located here, the Joseon dynasty and until now the national parks have protected this forest. and you can only access it through this temple stay. So I feel super privileged to have walked through this forest and learn about the history. Everything is just magical here. If you ever do have an opportunity to do a temple stay here, I highly recommend that you take a stroll through Quangnung Forest. Alright guys, the reason why you're seeing people interview back there is it's actually the 20th anniversary of temple stays in Korea. This has been going on for some time with the temples out here introducing the slow culture of staying in a temple and meditating. So our quick 1 night, 2 day temple stay has wrapped up. And I just wanted to give you some final thoughts on this. It's been a great experience learning about the culture and history of this temple, as well as any other questions I've had about Buddhism or any other philosophical questions I would like to discuss and maybe debate with the monks. And I think it's a really great experience in a sense that it's not very religious. They're very respectful of your point of view here, and if you have specific religious requirements where you can't partake in certain activities or it goes against your faith, they have no issues or any kind of pressure to do so. You just say, hey, I don't really feel like doing this. I don't really feel like attending the morning service. You don't even have to get up at 5. They actually offered to just skip that for us because it's pretty difficult. They understand that not everybody gets up at 5 o'clock. But whatever the case, you know, for those of you who do want to experience everything, they have so many activities. We weren't able to even cover all of them. We try to do as much as we can. But at the same time, if you don't want to do a lot of activities and you just want a lot of time to just sit around and ponder or just extend some of the other activities and meditate, you could do that at your own pace as well. Really? Yeah, so to summarize, whether you're religious or not, I highly recommend that you do this temple stay because it's a great way to learn about Korean culture and also experience the cuisine and the relaxing landscape and atmosphere. If you enjoyed this vlog, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys again next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia. Bye-bye.
고생하셨습니다. 즐거웠어요.
감사합니다.